All right, so we are here with another one of our wonderful alumna Jessey Terpening, uh, who is no longer just Jessey Terpening, but she is from the class of 2013. So we'll be talking a little bit about early college and our experiences after. All right, so how are you?
Good, good. I'm enjoying life. I got married about a year and a half ago, and I'm working for Horry County Schools and loving it. So yeah, it's been good.
Good. All right, so let's talk about your experience with early college. All right, so why'd you pick early college? I mean, you could have gone anywhere. What would have been your base school?
Carolina Forest would have been my base school, and I chose early college just because I was really interested in like the smaller class sizes and just that it was like a very different high school experience than like your traditional high school experience. So there were all kinds of opportunities for like the college classes, and then also the opportunity to get an associate's degree when graduating high school is definitely a perk there.
For sure. And so you get accepted, you come to Bridge Week. What was that like?
Oh, I was so nervous. I remember leading up to Bridge Week because, I had all my friends from middle school and I was like really used to that big group and thinking about meeting all these new people that I was about to spend the next 4 years with. I was really nervous, but I was also really excited to get to know everybody. And the main thing that really sticks out, I think it's like the first day that we went there and everyone was just in the main Avid room, which I'm sure is totally different now in a completely different building. But I just remember that everyone was in all one room and just I knew some people here and there, but we had to do like a bingo game where we had to like meet people who met certain criteria and just all the different people that I met. And so, I mean, I was excited about like meeting all these new people and all that, but definitely nervous.
We still do the bingo thing.
Really? Oh yeah. No, I remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah.
All those years later, we still do that.
Oh,
Um,
hey.
you don't fix what isn't broken.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Bridge Week, you met a lot of people. Obviously, that's a big part of what we do. And it's like necessity, right? Because you got to meet new people. You're mixed in with all kinds of people from all over the place in Horry County, which also makes us really unique. Uh,
Mhm.
all right, so you start getting into your high school classes. What was that first year like?
Um, I really enjoyed it. Like I get enjoyed being around all the different people and then just like the unique classes too. Like Avid, I remember was a really big change in being able to experience that. And I had Miss Williams actually as my freshman Avid teacher. And I don't know why, but I remember that she used to talk about like chitlins. And I'd never heard about what that was. So you'll have to ask her if she still remembers that. But like I remember that being like a really cool, like unique experience and having Avid and just also having those smaller class sizes too. It was very interactive learning more so than just sitting there in a seat and listening to a teacher talk for an hour and a half. And so I really enjoyed it.
All right, so you move into sophomore year. That's actually when we met. Um, and sophomore year, you start taking college classes. What's that
Mhm.
transition like?
So I felt like it was a fairly easy transition just because I think that a lot of my classes had really prepared me for starting those college classes. So we had Avid, and then a lot of those like freshman year classes, even though they were high school classes, I think that they had more of that like emphasis on college readiness and kind of that accountability you needed to have in those college classes as you went on further. So I remember we took that first like entry level college class. It was like College 101, maybe. I don't know. And so that I enjoyed taking that because it kind of like got your toes wet a little bit and learning how college classes work and really knowing like how much independence that you really need to have and how much like accountability is on you. Like you don't really have your professor like checking in like, hey, you're missing this assignment, you need to do this. Like, so that was definitely interesting, but I felt prepared. Like I don't feel like there was any time where I was like, oh, this is totally not what I was expecting. Like it was good. And it was exciting, like feeling grown up and being in like a college class and going into like different parts of where Georgetown Tech and being in those classes with older people sometimes too. So it was very cool.
Good. All right, so sophomore year, you got that mix of high school and college. Uh, and your class was, as I recall, a fun class actually, in terms of the class of 2013. Uh, do you keep up with people still?
I do. So Scarlett Henson, she was actually the maid of honor in my wedding, and I'm about to be the maid of honor in her wedding, which is
Very
coming up
cool.
next month. So yeah, I still keep in contact with her almost daily. Riley Lynch, I actually ended up going to USC with her, and our dorms were one floor below each other, so we kept in contact all through college. And yeah, so a couple of them, mainly Scarlett, but yeah, definitely keep in
That's
contact.
cool. Very cool. All right, so junior year, you get into mainly college classes, and senior year, obviously, you're taking more classes. Uh, and senior year, a big focus for us is always in Avid going to be the scholarship piece. Uh, and one scholarship that you want in particular, I want you to talk about, and it's the Bruce Dow Canton Pelican Scholarship. What's it like to get recognized? And the reason I bring this one up is it's different than the others because it's so public. Once you're
Mhm.
picked, like, all right, let's go to a ball game and let's see you out there on
Yeah.
the field. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Oh, it was so cool. Honestly, when I was going through the process of applying for the scholarship and when I found out I got it, I had no idea it was going to be such a public recognition. So I remember it like vividly. It was such a cold night when we went to go to the Pelicans game, and I was dressed up in my dress and I'm like putting on a brave face. But it was so cool, like being there and getting to hold the big check, and like it was just such an honor being able to be involved with that. And it was super helpful setting me up for my first year of college. So that scholarship actually helped pay for some of my textbooks and a new computer. And I honestly still have that computer to this day.
It may or may not turn on, but you still have it.
Yeah, you know?
That's awesome. Well, I think Bruce Del Canton would be proud of you with all that you've done with it. That's kind of why they set up the foundation in his honor. So thank you for being a good steward of that scholarship. Uh,
Thank you.
all right, so you go to USC, and at the time we really didn't send that many people away to school.
Yeah.
What's it like actually leaving home? Because so many people go to Coastal, and Coastal's a fine decision for a lot of people, but it's not for everybody. What's
Mm-hmm.
it like to actually go away and live there in Columbia? You talked about the dorms earlier. That
Mm-hmm.
has to be a bit of a transition.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I always rave about USC and I say it was the best decision of my life. So I really loved it. And I think the good thing about USC is they have a really strong emphasis on their first year program. So they've got a lot of activities to get people involved. And then especially that first week when you're moving in and you're kind of away from home for the first time and missing your family, there's so many activities. It's like hard for you to to miss your family. Obviously you do, but like but it was I really enjoyed it. I loved the whole like living in a dorm and having that traditional like first year experience and the football games and all of that. And I really feel like I was a lot more prepared than some of my roommates and some of my other friends who didn't go to a program like early college. They were kind of like shell shocked when they went into their classes and they're like, whoa, it's a huge school too. So I had one class I remember that it was in an auditorium and there were like 500 students in the class. And obviously I came from early college where there were not nearly that many, um, but no, I felt like I was so much more prepared for the coursework and just the independence you need to kind of be successful in school. And I really enjoyed it. I missed family and came home often, but it felt like a very smooth transition to go on there.
And it definitely probably helps too, is you kind of go beyond that and you become that adult that you are
Mhm.
today. All right, so you go to USC. What'd you major in?
Psychology.
All right, psychology. It's a common one.
Yep, yep.
What surprises did you get?
So well, I didn't know when I majored in psychology. So I did not change my major. So I started out when I was a senior in high school and applied for, and I said my major was going to be psychology. I stayed through the whole time. So didn't know too many people who did that, but I stayed with the psychology. And I had gone into it thinking I wanted to go into more of like a counseling route. So I had a minor in counseling.